Hello friends! Welcome to this video. So today's a little bit of a different video. It's a sit down because I wanted to chat about how I healed my previous relationship with gym burnout and workout burnout in general, just being exhausted from the gym, being completely drained from my workout schedule, hating my workouts, and coming to a place where I love my workouts. I love my training style. I've healed my relationship with exercise and I just feel a lot happier. So I want to speak to the girl who I was about a year ago who was burnt out and paint the picture of who I was about a year ago. I was exhausted. Working out used to be my happy place, so I felt like I had to stick to that. It was wake up early, grind at 5 a.m. to get my workout in quick so I can go to the rest of my day. And while working out early in the morning, there's no problem with that. None of these things by themselves are necessarily bad, but for me, it was too much. I started hating the gym. I dreaded waking up in the morning. I dreaded working out. I was drained throughout the day. I was tired. I barely had energy. You know, if I had extra energy, it would not be to do any physical activity, which is sad because even just going to go take a walk with my friend was exhausting. And so that was a really sad and low place for me. And now fast forward 1 year later, if you have been following my journey for about a year, then you know where I started. Today, loving my workout, I want to share my main tips that I would have for someone who's in my spot and wants to heal their relationship with exercise and actually enjoy movement again and just feel like their body's in a healthy spot where they can exercise and it's not breaking them down, but rather building them up and building you up to be a better person and to be able to show up for others and show up to be a sister or to be a girlfriend or to be a amazing biochemist, but just to show up as the woman you want to be. So that's why I'm making this video. To jump right in, the 3 main steps I would have if you're starting from a place of complete workout exhaustion and gym burnout. The first thing for me was actually implementing a few rest days. If I could go back, I would just take a break from working out altogether and just giving myself that complete time to rest up a little bit. But what I actually did was I just started adding in a few more rest days, which already was hard enough in itself because to change my routine, it was uncomfortable, but in the long run, it was totally worth it. So what I did was I started adding a few more exercise rest days. And for me, that was like 2 to 3 extra rest days a week. And step 2 of what I did after I started adding in a few rest days is I shifted my training to add in calisthenics training. Calisthenics, in case you're unfamiliar, is body weight workout. So it's what you would think of as your pull-up, your push-up, your chin-up, and then lots of other exercises that just use your body weight to train your muscles. And so it's kind of like the gym, but now you're just using body weight as resistance. And so the reason I started adding in calisthenics exercises is because I saw all these calisthenics athletes on Instagram who looked ripped and strong, and they actually did really cool skills like the front lever. And so to me, it just looked really cool. Like, why don't I just set myself a goal? Let's try and get a front lever. Side note, the front lever is really hard, and as a beginner, I didn't really understand that. So I would not recommend setting the front lever as your first goal. Not that you can't get it one day. I believe that you can, I do, if that's what you want, but it takes a lot longer than just a beginner calisthenics skill. But what I would do is I'd add in some body weight calisthenics exercises into your gym training in order to transition into more body weight training. And the reason that I added in these calisthenics exercises as well as strength exercises is because before I did that, my training was mostly endurance and hypertrophy. So working in 8 to 12 reps to build muscle, which is not bad in itself, but to the level that I was putting the stress on my body, it was too much for me. And it was just too much for me. And so what I started doing is I decreased the amount of hypertrophy that I was doing, and a few days I added in some strength sessions. So I do few reps, but high intensity for the deadlift. If you've seen my old videos, I used to deadlift, and also calisthenics exercises. So like the tuck lever and pull-ups, and I could add weight on. And so a few things that weren't as intense on my body in a volume way, but were more tense in a short period of time. And so what that actually did to me is it let me transition into a more fun way to move, like using my body weight. Oh, I can do a handstand. Like it just unlocked different levels of play for me. And so before that, because I was so sick of the gym, what I didn't have was the play. So what I lost is enjoyment. And what happened when I transitioned into bodyweight training is I started to be able to actually play and feel like I was enjoying my training. And so the transition was really important, and I kept my gym sessions. I just started adding in like a few calisthenics exercises. So I added in leg lifts and toe to bar raises. And then I started adding in more pull-ups and more chin-ups. And then I discovered that, I can add in some Australian rows or Aussie rows or more push-ups. And then to make push-ups harder, you go to pseudo planche push-ups. So I started adding trying in a few exercises, just switching out. Instead of dumbbell curls, I use bar assisted chin-ups, and I just switch out a few things. And that was great for me because the third step that I would recommend for you if you're kind of transitioning and trying to find a new path to heal your relationship with exercise and you're enjoying these bodyweight sessions, of course, if you're not, maybe this isn't the way to go, but if you start to have more fun in the gym, you feel like you're playing more, just try and have fun. What really worked out for me is just trying to play during my sessions. And then transitioning into step 3 is, if you want, try and take up 2 calisthenic skills for a goal, because the fun thing about not focusing as much on how your physique looks and actually how your body feels and being able to tune your body into training in more of an intuitive sense. So if I'm feeling kind of tired, maybe I know that I don't need to go as hard. Maybe I know that I can tone it back. Maybe I want to do more of a mobility workout or more of a handstand workout. Just being able to tap into that was what happened when I allowed myself to take a break from my brain turning off my body signals. Because when I was in that really obsessed mindset, what my brain said is, no, we don't care, body. We don't care that you're tired. We go anyway. And none of this is to say that discipline is bad, but it's not always right. And sometimes intuition is better. Step number 3, what I did is I just chose 2 calisthenics exercises I really wanted to get, which for me were the front lever and the stalder press to handstand. I'm still working on both, and I'm quite far away from the front lever. I don't even know if I want that quite as badly anymore, but the stalder press to handstand is really handstand training sessions. I enjoy my training sessions. I just feel so good after them, and I think the whole goal of this is to tap into how you're feeling and be able to identify if you're enjoying your training sessions. Do you feel motivated? Do you feel like you need a rest day? And just being able to tap into your body while still working towards a goal that isn't physique based, so you can really separate gym and with body and associate movement with how you actually feel, which hopefully is a good thing. Before I ramble on for too long, I do want to share what I did during all of this. So in addition to kind of shifting from only gym into more calisthenics training, another thing that I did was I worked a lot my mindset, and I worked on tapping into self-care and building up my mindset and my resilience. And this was not easy at first because I was coming from such a broken place, such a burnt out place. And looking back, I just hope this helps anyone who's also going through burnout, because it's really hard when you're in the moment, but there is so much hope and you can get through this. And it takes time, but you can completely get through burnout. It is doable. One thing I did was I practiced self-love, and this is so much harder said than done, but silly tip for you, look yourself in the mirror and hype yourself up. Just like convince yourself you're the shit. Delulu is the Salulu, okay? And I did that every single day for like a month straight. And at one point you start to believe it. You start to actually care about yourself. And that's the whole point, because you're amazing. So we gotta remember that. I also challenged a lot of my beliefs. Whenever I had a negative belief, like for example, about my body, when I was struggling with body dysmorphia, when I was in the gym, say for example, my mind was like, you're not muscular enough. What I did then is I like took that limiting belief or like that negative thought, and I thought, that's weird. Why did I think that? And then I would correct myself and say like, how I look is not associated with my worth, or something along those lines. And I really challenged a lot of beliefs during this time period. And then the last thing that I really did was make time for myself, because what I found is one of the reasons I was burnt out is because I was putting so much energy into things that didn't fill my bucket, or things that really didn't fulfill me, or I wasn't excited to work towards. I was working in a lot of things that I felt obligated to do, but I didn't actually like. They exhausted me. I didn't feel like I wanted the outcome. So I re-evaluated all my priorities. I actually literally made a list of my goals, my priorities, my dream outcomes, and then I wrote down everything I was doing. And I compared the list and I thought, okay, well, a lot of the things on my commitments, the things I'm actually doing, are not helping me get towards my goal. And so what I did was I just had to be really honest, and I started removing a few of them. And this may have been the hardest part, because I had to learn how to stand up for myself and advocate for myself before others. And let me tell you, you have to do this. It is so hard, but you have to do this, because if you don't, you're not gonna have the energy to show up not only for yourself, but for your sister or your best friend. You're not gonna be able to show up for those other people. I get so worked up when I talk about this because I'm so passionate about it, but you need to put yourself first sometimes. And so I had to make those hard decisions, really learn to advocate for yourself and challenge beliefs that you have in your brain. So those are a few of the mindset shifts that I had when I was going through gym burnout in order to heal my relationship with exercise. In the end, your physical health is really intertwined with your mental health. And if your mental health isn't there, sis, your body is not going to be okay. If you're stressed, your body's going to reflect that. And it's always easier said than done, but I hope that this helped you. This is a safe space, by the way. This is a safe corner of the internet. I'm going to be posting more about this topic because it's really important, and I hope that this helped you. But feel free to leave me a comment if you have questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!